Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your midday market report for Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. Happy to be here today with a good friend and a great guest. We're going to talk a little bit about everything. Our goal is to, we're about 10 weeks away from football, so what we like to say here is we're going to start sprinkling the infield, the fairways, the end zones with our good guest, someone we were blessed and honored to finally meet, and now occasionally comes on the show and hopefully a lot more. The one, the only Mr. BDB at Beating the Book, Rob himself.
What's up, Jeff? How you doing? Happy to be back-to-back weeks, so it's an exciting time.
We are excited here as well. Listen, the Sunday at the U.S. Open, we were talking behind the scenes before this show started. We were both sitting in the catbird seat. A kind of a fairy tale ending where Fitzpatrick won the amateur here in 2013, holds off Scheffler, holds off Willie Z for a historic win on 18. A bunker shot that Rahm, with a one-shot lead in Saturday, double bogeys, to then relinquish the lead, which he never got back. But Fitzpatrick was nails. It's a beautiful second shot, two putts in for a par. Willie Z lips out, and the rest is history.
Yeah, did Fitzpatrick win the U.S. Amateur in 2013? I mean, I only heard that mentioned 10,000 times during the broadcast. It's like NBC was so just dead set on beating that horse. They talked about that probably 5,000 times. Mike Tirico loves to go back into like the nostalgia. But it was a great tournament. I wish Will would have hit that putt there at the end to force a playoff. I had 3 of the top 4 going into the final round, and it's always that one you don't have that gets you. So I thought about hedging Fitzpatrick, but he was like plus 330. I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, let's just take our chances. We got 3 out of 4 guys. And then Rahm just kind of never got going. Scotty Scheffler came out gangbusters. But the thing, it's crazy. I've said this for like now this will be 3 weeks. Scotty Scheffler on the weekend at the Canadian Open and here on the back nines, he's been coming out gangbusters. The front 9, back 9 been falling apart like the first 4 holes. He did it on Saturday. I think he was 5 over on holes 10 through 13 on Saturday, then 2 or 3 over on Sunday. So now it's been a reoccurring theme for Scotty. So we'll see if he makes some changes going forward. But it was a very exciting tournament. Will actually putted the putt very well. It was kind of like his drive. When he got that 2-shot lead, he kind of had that wayward drive. He had to lay up a few times, kind of cost him from there. But he's playing some great golf. And it was a fun tournament to watch. And that's really all we can ask for. You had Rory making his run, Scotty making his run. Scheffler was like unconscious from like 30 feet, putting it in like it's putting in like he is putting into a huge like toilet hole. I mean, it was just huge, draining it from all over the place. Holing out twice in 2 rounds. That's pretty incredible right there. But it gave us everything we wanted. The course played very tough, and just pretty much just like a U.S. Open course. So looking forward to the Travelers this weekend for sure.
Before we segue into the Travelers, we have to spend a couple minutes on the Live Tour. Yesterday, I think it was Abraham Answer. Says to everyone he's heading over there. This morning, Brooks. We talked about potential names heading over there and what the repercussions are. My 2 cents on the take was, excuse me, it doesn't seem like there's going to be that much major repercussions. I think at 1 o'clock, the PGA was having a press conference. We're seeing a lot more people flock over there as we talked about getting that guaranteed money, setting themselves up and their families for life, still being able to go back and play on the PGA. You only can talk about trophies and majors and being a part of history versus the hundreds of millions of dollars that's getting thrown around on the Live Tour.
Yeah, they talk about generational wealth. You hear that term a lot. They don't talk about generational trophies. So your wealth that you can save for your family, that can set your family up for generations. The couple of trophies doesn't really do it right there. And it's all about the money at the end of the day. So I'd rather have $100 million than the Honda Classic trophy in my cabinet. So at the end of the day, what's the PJ going to tell, like, say Victor Hovland, Xander Schauffele, say Colin Morikawa, all these guys, Koepka? They're going to tell all these guys, wow, you can't play in the PGA. I just don't see that happening. I mean, I think they might know they would lose in court, so I don't think it would ever get that far. They're just kind of threatening right now. They might be like baseless threats. But the PGA is the one that made it the problem, because they could have just let them do their thing without talking about Live. But they made it into this whole big fight. And now I guess, we'll just have to see what happens going forward. But they're talking about the Live Tour buying the DP Euro Tour. That would be huge. And they made an offer to buy the Golf Channel. So they're pretty serious about making this thing work. And I know they have these limited fields of like 45, 48 golfers or whatever. I think eventually we'll see Live expand, because they're going to get more and more golfers. They're going to get younger golfers from college, Corn Ferry Tour. They're going to get older golfers like, say they get the Tony Finau's in 5 years or so, right? I think they're going to have more events, start expanding these fields, stuff like that. So those are just the ideas that I would have. So it's in the PGA's best interest you don't have to work with them, really. Just don't really like work against them, So we'll just have to see where it goes.
You mentioned this week in the Travelers. It's usually in our minds here, it's tough a week before a major, a week after a major. You don't know the mindset of some of these golfers. I'm at DraftKings right now looking at the outrights. Currently, Rory McIlroy and Scheffler both at plus 900. Justin Thomas plus 1,000. Cantlay 1,400. Sam Burns 1,800. Jordan Spieth and Xander at 2,000. M and Seamus and Keegan at plus 2,800. Any of those tickle your fancy? I know it's Tuesday. We still got a couple days till tee off, but thoughts on the initial thoughts on the Travelers and this week?
Yeah, I mean, Rory and Justin Thomas not really going to be playing much this week. I kind of like Scotty Scheffler just because he has that bad taste in his mouth from losing the U.S. Open. I mean, I'm sure he feels like he lost it, like I was talking about on that back nine where he's been struggling lately. So I could see Scotty wanting to get that taste out of his mouth, get another victory for this season, maybe wrap up the FedEx very early this year. Sam Burns, also, he played well here last year, and his game has been trending up. He was paired with Rory on the final day of the U.S. Open, so he's been playing very well, very well. And Burns will be able to reach those drivable par fours they have here, and he's a pretty accurate irons player. So also might take a Keegan Bradley, like a top 20 or something on him. He's from up here, obviously, like at the U.S. Open. He's only missed the cut twice here. He has 2 top 10s here his last five tries. So kind of like Keegan, top 20, because he's playing the best golf he's played in probably about 5 years. So Harold Varner is a guy at 35-1 where I think he could like make some moves in the first round, kind of like a first round leader. This is a perfect course for Harold, where like 13 under won it last year. So it's not going to be a super low score that wins, but Harold's the kind of guy that can shoot the 64 on any given day, on any course. So kind of like Harold right there. Yeah, those are the guys kind of like in the 35 range. It's kind of interesting. We got Koepka still playing this tournament. Apparently, he's 40-1. He got fifth. I think he got fifth place here last year. So he plays this course very well. Also, it's gonna be interesting. I think the ultimate troll to the PGA would be Koepka winning this tournament and walking up to that stage to accept the Champions Trophy that the PGA is handing him. That would be kind of the ultimate, F you. Even though I'm sure he's not. These guys aren't saying F you to the PGA. They're just going for something that's paying them more money. I think that's where the PGA is kind of like the ex-wife. They're leaving their wife for their new wife who's 10 years younger and a little better looking, and the PGA is kind of like the salty ex. So that's kind of the spot the PGA is in right now. So I don't think these guys, obviously, they don't hate the PGA. The PGA gave them everything that they have right now. But I think that, they just want to show them, listen, the Live Tour is not just, you say, oh, Brooks Koepka, he's going to Live Tour. Everyone comments, oh, he's washed up. He's finished. He sucks. Abe Answer, oh, he sucks. Phil Mickelson, oh, he sucks. Dustin Johnson, he's old. So what are they going to say, when Xander and say Morikawa and Hovland goes there? Everybody's been saying, oh, these guys are all washed up. That's why they're headed over there. I think those guys kind of want to prove that, we're not washed up, So it's just going to be interesting. The storylines are going to write themselves. I'm sure we're going to hear about the Live Tour the entire weekend because that's all PGA media talks about. So it's going to be interesting. I look forward to Brooks Koepka answering some questions this week. I'm sure he won't give them attitude or anything, So that'll be a fun one.
Last night, following you on Twitter, of course, at Beating the Bookie, you've been talking about the Lightning who were down 2-0 to the Rangers. We know a series doesn't start until a road team does win. You were able to get the Lightning plus 750. We had you on last week. You were unsure if you were going to hedge that. Avs dominate. Well, I shouldn't say dominate. They win game 1 in OT. They dominate game 2. Vegas had Lightning a slight favorite last night. They come out guns a-blazing, 6-2 win to make it now 2-1. Some overnight opening lines. Vegas very lightly puts the Avs minus 110. Seeing it basically trickle now to about a pick 'em. Your under-over is at 6 still. Early thoughts for tomorrow's game 4 of the NHL.
Yeah, I think it'll be tighter. I think it'll be kind of like game 1 was, where it's a lot closer. I honestly, looking at game 2 over and over again, I think that the Lightning I think the Lightning tried to win game 1. Game 2, I think they just kind of get that game 1 effort against the Rangers where they just got down 1-0 early, 2-0, and they kind of were just like, you know what, let's just get out of here healthy and go back to Tampa. What kind of told me they were kind of tanking that game is they left Vasilevsky in the entire game, right, to give up 7 goals. Usually, if they cared about winning the game, they might pull the goalie for his confidence. I think they were kind of like, you know what, don't worry about it. If you give up some goals, it doesn't matter this game. I think they gave game 2 to Colorado, and Tampa is it's the only team in the league that can just give up games just to go home. And hey, it's the same. It's a Rangers series all over again. They just have to win 1 game on the road, and they win the Stanley Cup. I think they're 8-0 at home this playoffs. I think that they'll win game 4. I think that it will go over again because now they're in Comfort's head. They're talking about, oh, will he start game 4 and stuff? They're in his head. He knows Tampa can score now. They were very physical, and they were fast too. People always tell me, I stick up for Tampa, and I'm a Panthers fan, right? I'm not a Tampa fan. People are like, the Avs are too fast for them. There's no such thing as too fast in the NHL, right? The Panthers were probably the second fastest team in NHL besides Colorado, and Tampa Bay handled them very well. So I think Tampa Bay they're like the kings of loafing. they're kind of like the king sandbaggers. They know when to turn them on. And I think I could see them winning game 4, like say 4-3, 4-2, something like that. The total is 6. It's like I had the over big last night. I had the first period over. For game 4, I'd probably lean to the first period over 1.5, as opposed to the game over 6. But I do think Tampa Bay wins. And I think it goes back to Colorado tied. And I have not hedged my future yet. So if it goes back tied and Colorado might be like minus 150 to win the Cup at that point, I might hedge it. But I'm not really sure. I don't want to get that far and then have Tampa Bay. Because if Tampa Bay wins game 4 and wins game 5 on the road, forget it. It's over in 6, right? So I guess we're just going to have to see what the situation is. But Tampa Bay, they looked great last night. And I set up their game too. 7, if you lose 7-0 or 100-0 or 1-0, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. There's no goal differential in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. So 6-2, they're in the perfect spot to win game 4, even the series. And, if it's even series, it's game on. So it's been an exciting, game is 1 and game is 3 were pretty exciting. And just looking forward to it. I think game 4 will be closer, like I said. But I do think Tampa will pull it out.
Got a full MLB slate tonight. Know you've been doing very well in MLB. Anything particular sticking out to you today in the MLB slate?
Yeah, let's pull up the baseball lines right now. DraftKings has been so slow lately. I keep riding the Yankees train, how long can you keep making them, minus 140, minus 130 against, these inferior teams? Hold on, I'm trying to, okay, there we go. Let me just pull up the DraftKings odds. Yeah, last night I had the Padres team total over 3.5. So that hit early. And I got lucky with the Red Sox first 5 over 5. The Red Sox scored 2 in the bottom of the 5th for that win. But yeah, tonight I kind of like the Marlins over the Rockies. We saw the Marlins went to Coors Field and pretty much destroyed the Rockies. I mean, I think it was like 14-0, and the Marlins pitcher had a no-hitter going at the time. So the Marlins have been playing some solid ball. They just beat the Mets on Sunday, and the Marlins have been playing pretty decent ball. So I like the Marlins at home, minus 130. So I'll probably be on that play. This Dodgers, a couple people asking about the Dodgers, how are they minus 170 against the Reds? The Reds, worst team in the league. Like, this is what people say. And the Reds have been playing a lot better lately. I think they're over 500 for their last 30 games. So they've been playing a lot better. This game kind of has trap written all over it for me. So I'll probably stay away from that one. But yeah, I do like the Marlins. Kind of like the Orioles, but I'm not really in a place where I really like to play the Orioles. And I'll probably keep riding the Red Sox, maybe the Red Sox run line tonight. And like I said, the Yankees money line's minus 170. So if you don't want to play the money line, try to get a minus one line. You can get the Yankees minus 1. Like minus 120, because they've just been a train, and the Rays have so many injuries, and as we know, the Yankees have owned the Rays this year. So those are just a couple of the games that I'll be looking at.
Yeah, in the Tampa game, they have announced Beeks versus Cortez. Cortez has been lights out. I mean, the Yankees 50-17. I mean, it's just amazing the start that they have had. just running away with the East as we speak. I like where your eyes are with the Miami back at home against Colorado, Feltner versus Castano, and me locally with the Red Sox. The kid for Detroit, Brieski's been pitching well of late. Rich Hill, a little regression, but Vegas giving you the hint right there, minus 200, minus 195. So a Red Sox run line would be a lean there as well. I was looking at the Dodgers and Cincinnati. You're right. Cincinnati started the year, I think it was 3-23. They're now 23-43. So they have been above 500, as you said, the last 30 games. So like where your eyes are there as well.
I doubt I'd play them, but I just wouldn't play the Dodgers, because most people are going to look at that line and be like, oh, the Dodgers win easily. It's so easy, minus 170. Well, we know it's not that easy. We know nothing comes out easy. So this is like the perfect game for the Dodgers to just give away. So I'll probably be steering clear of that one.
Before we wrap up, never too early to talk NFL, OTAs, mini camps, all that coming on. Is there anything that you've been looking at in NFL as in under-overs, futures, that you could tell the people watching and listening might be, to grab a little something early now before a number drops?
Yeah, I absolutely love the Bills over 11.5 wins. I think it was like minus 130. But on a 17-game schedule, I struggle to see how the Bills lose 6 games and you lose this bet. They play the Bears this year. They got a bunch of free wins on their schedule. Josh Allen owns the Dolphins. The Bills are just loaded, and with how they lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs, I think they just have revenge on their mind all year this year. So I love the Bills over 11.5 wins. So I'll probably be this year. I'll be like the Bills' biggest fan. I'm actually going to go to the opening Monday night game. So if I had to pick a favorite this year, I'd pick the Bills. And that's coming from a guy who grew up a Dolphins fan. So I just bet with my money, and I love the Bills this year. Josh Allen MVP also. So, but for me personally, I'll probably play a max play on the Bills over 11.5 wins. If you can hold your money, if you can have them hold your money for 4 months and not worry about it, that's definitely a max play for me. If you're into futures and stuff, I know a lot of people don't like to play futures because they don't like to have their money tied up for 4 months. But I think that play is definitely a winner because I just don't see them losing 6 games.
They open up at the Rams, defending Super Bowl champs. I've seen the number right now currently at Rams -1.
Yeah.
I talked about probably by kickoff, I'm going to say that the Bills are -1. What do you think there?
Yeah, I think so too. And I don't, the -1 and +1, I don't think that will really matter. I think we're talking about a situation where the Rams are going to be getting their ass kissed for the entire week. The entire week leading up to the game, the media's going to kiss their ass. Defending Super Bowl champions, they're raising the banner that night. They're getting their rings, and they're having to go play the Buffalo Bills, who want nothing more than to just beat the shit out of them. Who the Bills are going to be foaming at the mouth to play that game. So we all have those Super Bowl layoffs, and honestly, I think the Bills. The Rams kind of got a lucky pathway to get to the Super Bowl last year. Whereas I think if they would have had to play the Bills, they would have been in a lot more trouble. So I do think, even though the Bills didn't win the Super Bowl last year, I think the Bills are the better team. I think they were the better team last year. So I like the Bills because we all see teams have these Super Bowl letdowns. It happens in NBA, NHL, NFL. We saw. I'll never forget when it was 2007. The Heat were getting their 2006 championship rings. I was at the game. We were playing the Bulls. The Heat got their rings. They raised the banners, and they lost by 40 to the Chicago Bulls. We saw it a couple years ago when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Their very next game, they opened up with, I think they were playing the Falcons. The Falcons beat them at home, and the Eagles fans on their ring ceremony night, first game of the year, the Eagles fans are just booing them. So we see it happen to these home teams celebrating championships all the time. I definitely think that if you want to bet that game, take the Bills +1 right now because, like you said, when kickoff comes, it's going to be like pick, or they're going to be a -1 favorite.
I agree there 100%. I think the Bills will be your AFC #1 seed, and that was the difference the last 2 years. You didn't have to go to Buffalo in late December and January.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be the team to beat. And I love where your eyes are. I 100 expect them to cruise this year, win the AFC East early, wrap up the AFC #1 seed, and I definitely see them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I am 100% Bills Mafia this year, so I can't wait. I've gotten like a bunch of tailgate invites for game 1. They play game 2, their first home game. They play Tennessee at home, Monday Night Football. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to tailgating up there. It's going to be a blast. But yeah, I do think that the Bills win the AFC, and I think the Bills win the Super Bowl. So unless Tom Brady has other plans, but I just think maybe the Bucs. I don't think they have that unless the Bucs are fully healthy. I don't see the Bucs with the fire, that we're seeing from Josh Allen. He's only getting better every single year. I mean, the playoff game that Josh Allen had against the Chiefs, it's like one of the most spectacular games that you're going to see from a quarterback. His arm, he throws the ball like a rocket. So I think that they've just been training with a vengeance on their mind the entire year, and I'm really looking forward to a really good year from the Bills.
100% agree. You can follow Rob at Beating the Bookie. He's a great follow. Tons and tons of information, free plays. He's popping up there. Rob, tell them about packages maybe for this week as a Travelers. You'll have a package.
Yeah, we've got the Travelers Championship this week. The package is up on site. It's $99, and we've got plays for rounds 1 through 4. I could have a max play. I'm not sure yet. We've got top 20s, top 40s, tournament matchups, first leaders, outright leaders, and we've got every other sport available. So I might stay away from outright leaders this week because I don't want to have the heartbreak of just that 4th round. You've got 3 out of the top 4 outrights, and you lose. And it's like there's nothing worse than that. It's like the most crushing feeling ever. So might stay away from outrights this week, but we've got plenty going on site.
So go follow him at Beating the Bookie on Twitter. Reach out to his website. Reach him out. Follow him. DM him. He replies, guys. He replies. He's a great guy. Great follow. One of the best in our lanes when it comes to picking winners, and a good friend of us on the show. We look forward to many more shows with you. And by the way, a happy belated birthday. I hope you enjoyed Father's Day and obviously your birthday on yesterday.
Thank you. We've got to get next time I come on, we've got to get Vegas Dave on here. Dave Sherapan, not Vegas, not the fake Vegas Dave.
I think that's what we'll do. We're going to pull a 3-way next time. We're going to have myself as the host and you and Dave on. That's the plan. I will make that happen, sir. How's that?
Yeah, I hope you can. I mean, he is famous now, so you probably got to go through his agent. He's on every channel. So if you can book him, please do. It'll be fun.
I will do that. So Rob at Beating the Bookie gave out some potential free MLB plays. Hit him up on the Travelers package. Reach out to him on Twitter at Beating the Book. You can follow myself at EC Sports Invest. I'll follow you back, answer any questions. Tonight at 6:00, myself and Scott Webb will be doing the closing bell. We'll get you ready for opening first pitch in the MLB. So for myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from BDB at Beating the Book, we wish everyone a blessed day, and we will see you in a couple hours.
See you guys.